it just kind of came out of like, you know, like the little monsters and demons that kind of like woke up at night, you know, and
love it.
Which was us. We were the midnight monsters.
How did
Not
you
to
guys...
give anything away for the EP, but it's us.
Dystopia tonight. Dystopia tonight.
Hello.
Hi.
It's out, right? It's already out?
You were so close. It comes out next week.
Okay, that's what I thought. I knew that. I knew that's why you were on here. And then I was like, oh, fuck, is it already out?
No.
Yeah.
But like half the songs are out already. So you're fine. It's kind of like half out.
Yes. So this is Alyssa and Matt for everybody that's watching. So it comes out next week. That's the thing. When everybody sends me something early, I completely blow off the date that it comes out because I'm like, I have it. I don't care if anybody else has it.
Yeah, I actually get that.
Are you guys on tour? Are you guys still on tour? How's it been going coming back out of this thing? Are you able to go back out and do some stuff?
Not yet. We have some dates coming up in March, which feels like so far away, but it's really going to be here like that. But yeah, we've actually been holding off on the live show thing, where we're in Rochester, New York, and things are kind of coming back just like the rest of the nation here. But
right.
Yeah,
we're excited to get back. But March is the time.
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel that too. Like booking stuff to go back out was everything was like in the future. Even like coming, you know, as we were like supposedly coming out of this before the variants kind of, you know, started popping up, I was still booking stuff for like months ahead, and I was like, is this ever going to actually happen? Or
so true.
Yeah, we had tour dates and we just kept rescheduling and canceling and rescheduling, so we're finally like, all right, let's just wait.
Yeah, that's probably the best bet anyway. I mean, but is it weird for you to like, because now you've got that album coming out next week, like is it a total schedule shift to have to like get a new album out and not be able to go out on tour and kind of promote it right away? Does that kind of fuck you guys up?
Yeah, I mean, it's annoying. This is actually EP number 2 that we've put out during this time.
Oh wow.
Our second EP came out in April of 2020. So that was the biggest one that was like, oh shit, like we just did all this music and now it's just gonna sit here, which I mean, it's fine, but so this is already we're already a little used to it. But yeah, we're just gonna celebrate both EPs in March by playing.
That's fantastic.
All new. We have so much new stuff for people to come hear live. Are we here?
Yeah, crushing it.
You know what? I turned off the Wi-Fi. Fuck Wi-Fi. Let's do it. I don't know why it's doing that. Sorry.
I was going to say before, I love how you slid in that you managed to knock out 2 EPs. Like you were like, we were actually productive during COVID while everybody was, you know, growing their hair and gaining weight. Yeah, that's awesome.
We didn't really have much to do. So
no, I hear you.
Yeah, no, it's people like made new businesses and picked up hobbies and people had things going on. I mean, wasn't this in a this was a if I don't talk to people, I'm going to go insane. So this is what happened, and then it kind of it was great though, and what's weird is like, do you find that like all the stuff you started to do COVID that was like different, and now that we're re-entering the world like a little bit of normalcy, the stuff that you did during COVID is not disappearing, and now you've got twice the work? I was not prepared for that. Yeah, no. Now you're seeing people in real life and on Zoom.
Yeah, and it's troubling because you're like you're better looking on the internet
with your filters.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I didn't know I was talking to a ghoul this whole time. Holy shit. What people have been saying to me. It's not what I've been saying to people. But so you did the 2 EPs or whatever when you're out there. Did you do any kind of streaming stuff while you were kind of during COVID? Like, did you get to play around on the internet and stuff and do some shows there?
Yeah, we did like one virtual show, and like early on we were just doing a lot of Instagram lives that were kind of fun, just connecting. We were doing that.
That's cool.
We also did a lot of like writing sessions on Zoom, which we like a lot.
Oh, nice.
We would, you know, before it would be like if we'd go to LA, we'd do the whole week of writing sessions, and kind of in person, like it's good, but you also kind of burn out because it's like, all right, you have to take an Uber, like, you know, and you're in the Uber like in a half hour, you get to the writing session, you introduce yourselves, and then you get a tour of the studio, and then you finally sit down to write, and it's just like writing. Sometimes it's just like you're on, or sometimes you're off, and it's just like you're stuck there for 6-7 hours to write a song, and it's just like, you know, you really don't. I don't know. For us, like writing a song, sometimes it's good to just go off in a corner by yourself. So we would do these Zooms, and it's just like you could wake up, connect on Zoom, and then you could work a little bit and be like, all right, I'm going to mute, and then you can kind of come back. So
yes,
we really like that a lot. I mean,
yeah, that was a really good thing that came out of
that.
Yeah, I do like kind of the way that everybody's workflow kind of changed over this time, and like their whole process. We were like, God, we were just like exhausting ourselves doing it this way. This is so much nicer. Like even meeting with like the idea to me now to fly out to LA for a specific amount of time to meet with my agents or whoever. And I was like, why weren't we doing this over Zoom years? Like the money you could save, and you know,
Truly.
I would much rather have somebody look disinterested in me on a screen than in person after spending all that money.
I mean, exactly. That's really funny. But yes, I'm with you.
Although I do, so like when we really embrace Zoom and love it, and we found a lot of advantages, but we also found there were situations where we would have calls that before didn't need a Zoom, we would just call, and now they're like, let's all do Zooms. And I'm like, why are all these that were calls?
No.
Yeah. So it's just like, I feel like a bunch of people learned Zoom that didn't need to learn Zoom, and now we're just Zooming like, or we're like FaceTime and Zoom all the time. It's like, we just called before.
Yeah, isn't it weird? Isn't it weird how like Americans quickly adapt to the idea of work or their perception of work? We're like, it's the same way. We're like, I had to do a benefit gig, and I've done a million of these charity events or whatever, and I did one recently, and I've never in my life had to go on a Zoom call to do any of this stuff. It was just like they booked me, whatever, and then because it's a thing now, they're like, why don't you come? We're all having a Zoom meeting, so we'd love to get. And of course, it's like at the ass crack of fucking dawn, right? So like, I don't wake up. I'm just not functioning then. And I jumped onto it, and no one was speaking to me. I was just like and I just kind of was like, do I need to be here? Does anybody have any questions for me? And then like some guy like forced a question out, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. We're still on though, right? And then they're like, oh yeah. I was like, the fuck?
It's so awkward.
What you do is like when you have like a bunch of people in like a Zoom that you're really not like, no one's really paying attention to whatever. Just like sometimes pretend you're frozen. Or like just pretend you're talking but like don't make a sound so they think that you're muted. Like
yes.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's what you were doing to us in the beginning of the call.
No.
That's exactly what we were just trying to get out of it.
Oh God, that's great.
That's always entertaining just to see if you're bored.
Yeah, that is a lot of fun to do. I've mastered the ability to like accidentally hit a button now. Like I've done the drinking and then drop something, and I'm like, oh my God, and like immediately click off the thing and like, what happened? Just
accidentally dropped.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. It's like there's a connection issue, or I hate you. I don't know what it is.
Either one.
It's real tough. It's real tough to figure out. So you guys are now where are you? You're still in Rochester, New York, right?
Yeah.
We are.
Yep.
Cool. So like, do you guys find that like the writing process is a little bit different now, because like you pumped out 2 EPs because you had all this time? Have you changed anything about the way you've done it other than like the Zoom stuff? But I mean like specifically like the way you go about writing music, because I know you describe yourselves as authentic in an interview, which I love, because I feel like that's not everybody tries to go for like a really kind of a badass approach or whatever. And I was like, that is incredibly unique. And also after listening to you guys, I was like, that makes total fucking sense to me. So I was like, that's a great way to describe yourselves. So has anything changed at all?
Yeah. This was the first EP that like, I don't know, 95% of it was all recorded and done in the room we're in right now, one of our spare bedrooms. I mean, nice. Before we would always write, and we would still have an important part in production, but we would like, I don't know, we would go into studios and work with other producers, and kind of like, oh, they're a producer, so and that's their job. We're the artist. It was kind of more like, like a little bit scared to like kind of like inject our ideas. And this was kind of time where like the training wheels came off, and we're like, all right, we get to do this. And we've done 2 EPs before this, so like we're kind of like, let's just take control and see how it turns out. And we really enjoy just being in total control and doing it all from here, and being able to work and record at any time of night instead of having to book a studio date and then hopefully that date your voice feels good, or you know what I mean, in those hours that you feel inspired. And we found we would much rather have lesser gear and have a better take or be able to be creative at any point than you know, have a better quality studio but you're locked into these hours. So I think that was a big change for this EP.
That's a great point, man. I didn't even think of that, because it has been kind of freeing to not have to do anything on a schedule. It is kind of fucked because it's like, you know, even doing like a special or doing a TV taping or whatever it is, when you're not in the mood, like, you know, like it could go either way and you kind of have to force yourself to be in that mindset. And with this kind of, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys write, how do you guys do lyrics first or music first? Like, how does it usually come to you in terms of the writing style?
It kind of goes both ways, but mostly lyrics first. Matt's a killer lyricist, and he'll usually bring me something that he's been writing. And that's actually how a lot of Midnight Monsters came about. Is we became, I mean, we've always been kind of a fan of night walks, and just like, because we live by a village and we live on the Erie Canal. I don't know if you're familiar. But
I've heard tale.
I know. I never really know how to gauge that. I'm like, it's everyone here knows, obviously, and New York is very much aware of the Erie Canal, but I'm like, does everybody know about the Erie Canal? Like, very well. But we live literally right down the street from it, so we can kind of just walk at night, and it's no cars or anything. Not that there were any cars anyway last year, like at that time. But
it was a real Walking Dead situation where you're just like,
it was so weird. But he would come home to me and like be like, hey, I have this like whole thing of lyrics set out, and he's like, you want to just sit and try to write melodies and do some chords. And I would sit at my piano, he sat at his guitar, and we just kind of messed around with it. And a lot of those songs just came about with a guitar and a vocal, or a piano and a vocal, and then we produced them here and with some collaborators. But so it's usually lyrics first.
That's awesome. I love knowing that kind of stuff, because I feel like it would be lyrics first for me too. Like, I just, because of, you know, the writing background and everything like that, but I'm not good with any kind of an instrument really. So I don't know if people like bound out a jingle first, or if a tune gets stuck in their head or anything. So I'm always curious. Where did the name Midnight Monsters come from?
I mean, I think honestly, just from most of these songs, like we were just on such a nighttime schedule. We would sleep until like 1 or 2, and then stay up till like 4 a.m.
That's what hit me hardest about the album too, is that because that's me. That's like, I function better at night. I go to the gym at like midnight and then like do my thing when no one's there, and then like drive home. It's just great. I just love operating at nighttime.
Yes, I mean that's always usually our schedule anyways with when we're playing shows and touring, but also the recording wise too is like, even if we were recording during the day, you can actually hear, I mean, the room's not soundproof or anything, so the mics were picking up cars driving by. So at night was better. You know, birds were making their appearance in some of the tracks. So like we have to record at night. So it just kind of came out of like, you know, like the little monsters and demons that kind of like woke up at night, you know, and
love it.
Which was us. We were the Midnight Monsters.
How did
Not
you
to
guys...
keep anything away for the EP, but it's fun.
So how did you guys initially meet and decide to start your band and stuff? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, I mean, we're both from Rochester, and like I was playing in different bands. Alyssa was doing her thing, and then we played together.
I think they're very well.
I know.
We were trying.
I mean, like we played together in multiple bands, and like the bands would change, but the two of us would always like find ourselves in the same band, and then writing together. And then we started this project more. Initially, it was more like as a sync project. We were writing for more TV and film, and then we started like playing out live, and it became a touring project. So that's kind of how this came about. And we're just writing a lot together. Yeah.
What's the process like when you are writing for TV and film and stuff? Is it usually just, do you have a selection of songs that you kind of write and do, and you're like, oh, I could see this being, you know, in a movie or a TV show? Or what, do they hand you the project first and then you're like, okay, cool, we'll work on something based on what we know?
Yeah, I mean, just our experience, this is what I feel like we've kind of realized is like, we do have like a sync team, and they do send us briefs, and they're like, this show is looking for, and they have like 3 reference songs, and they have like key phrases. And I feel like anytime like we write a song for sync and it's like so perfect for the brief. Like, man, we
it's
nailed
like
it.
on the nose. Yeah.
We don't get it. So it's like we don't get it, and then we see the sync, and it's like totally opposite of what the brief asked for. And I feel like the songs of ours that have been synced are songs that like we wrote. I mean,
as an artist,
like as an artist,
never
for
intended.
us, and it's like this isn't really like for sync they're always like put in like laws and hand claps and it's simple, not too wordy, and then anything that like I feel like our best syncs have been just songs for songs, and then they made it. So that's kind of where we're like headed now. Is we're like, all right, let's just write, and I think the music finds the scene. Where anytime we try to write, a lot of times we don't get it. So.
Because I feel like a lot of songs on this album, and this is one of the things I love about like music or whatever I'll always look for too, is like it's got a lot of that too. Like I've noticed like what if I'm driving by myself like at night or whatever, and like one of the tracks will hit or come on or whatever, I'm just like, oh, this is this is like the soundtrack of my life right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's so easy to like put it into into that. So when I found out you guys did stuff for TV music, I was like, I wonder how it fucking works.
It's interesting for sure. I wish it was kind of like, some people like get a commercial and it has no sound to it, and they're like, write to this. That would be so fun. I feel like that would be so fun for us to like see the scene and write for the scene.
Yeah, that would be cool to see the footage.
That would be a smarter way to do it,
right?
Yeah.
But it's so funny because it's like they'll like option multiple songs, and then like I mean some of the ones you have, it's just like you don't literally like shows that have been on like ABC and stuff like that, like you're finally told like 2 days before it airs, like, yeah, it's in there. Like that's how down to the wire it is. Like you pull it like any minute. So it's just like, and then you go and watch it, and it's just like, royalties have like if there's vocals, you get paid more royalties than if it's instrumental. So a lot of times they'll start the instrumental and then they'll weave in the vocals. So we're sitting there like counting how long the vocals are and then stuff like that. And it's like added up too. So it's really fun to see.
How much are we gonna get paid?
Yeah.
That's great.
But really, but you know what I love? They tell you last minute, but they also ask you last minute. So they'll be like, we need a song that is just like cinematic and gorgeous and beautiful and is about this and says this in it, and give it to me by 5 o'clock today. And I was like, wait, what? How about
and then you do, and then 3 months goes by, and then it's like
still haven't heard. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's a very weird world.
It's such a weird world. I have no idea really anything about it.
It is weird that these people, it's weird that the people who run our lives basically are completely uncreative and don't know how any of it works, and they just think you can come up with shit on the spot, and then if you bust your ass to do it, they don't fucking do anything with what you made. They're like, what? They're like, why is this not what I asked for? Like, well, because you woke me at fucking whatever and told me I had 20 minutes. That's insane.
So right. And I also feel like too, like a lot of the shows that have used it, it's like we're always like, I wonder why they picked this, like one of these songs that we wrote like 2 years ago, and then you see it and it's like literally the title of the song is either like a line in the show or in the scenes. Like they just searched that that, you know what I mean? Like we had a song called The Pines, and it's just like, why is this in this? And all of a sudden it's like, well, the scene takes place out in a cabin in the pine. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, they were
stupid. It's so lazy.
Oh my God, I didn't even think of that. That's phenomenal.
Oh my God. Well, now that you know that, or just and next time you watch a movie or a TV show, mainly TV, just think about the song that's playing in your
like Shazam it, and like the title will usually make sense. I feel
like when Billy Joel's "I'm Moving Out," it's like in a scene where somebody's actually fucking moving out of their house. Like it's like, okay, wow, cool. You
or like when How to Save a Life comes on every hospital show as someone's dying, and you're like, this again?
Wow, shocker.
Oh Jesus. That's unbelievable. Do you guys have any are you interested in kind of dabbling in acting or anything kind of that stuff, or you just like doing your thing?
God, I would be such a bad actor. I would be so bad. Like you should see me doing music videos. I'm like, am I good now?
Listen,
it's like so bad.
I have acted and I'm a shitty actor. So there's like there's no, don't. It's fine. I know I am. I'm just always hoping like a director is gonna make a mistake in the cat. Like I'm like, everybody fucks up sometime, and maybe it'll be on me. So let's do this.
It's such a cool thing, though. I feel like acting would be one of the most fun jobs. I mean, I don't know, but
yeah, no. It can't. I wish I was better at it. Like that's the only thing. Like it's not even like it's shitty. It's fucking awesome. It's just I for some reason I think it's just the comic and like hard to read other people's material. You know what I mean? When somebody else is like, is it weird? Do you guys do covers and stuff? Do you like doing that kind of a thing?
Yeah.
Is it so? How quickly do you guys have to like? Is it stuff that you're a fan of, or do you kind of think about what's popular at the time and what your audience would like to hear? I love the face you just made because that tells me kind of everything. You don't even. She's like, don't really give a shit about the audience.
No, it's mostly stuff that we like. So if we're playing covers, like we'll usually like throw in some like obscure like Bon Iver, Lord Huron,
but that's for our shows. I feel like covers play more part. Like a lot of times we're the opening act. Like we'll go on tour with the band, and it's like you know, if you're opening and you have like a half hour, 45-minute set, you want to do at least one cover that the audience knows because a lot of them may not have heard our music. So it's we try to pick a cover that's like with like. We did a lot of tour dates with Chris Daughtry, and it's like, all right, for like, you know, that crowd, we would cover like Fast Car or Elton John. And then like when we would tour with we toured with this artist, K Flay, and this band Kaleo, and it's like, we would pick a different cover that artist, you know what I mean? So it's like, we would still do it our way, but like, we actually have a lot of fun picking a cover, like, all right, what do we think we can like get the audience like into us on? And then, so we love doing covers like that.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's incredible. What do you guys like do a lot of riffing when you're on stage together? You have like a loose kind of vibe, or what's your because I haven't seen you guys live yet and I'd like to.
No, I don't have a mic or talk on stage at all.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I know, isn't it so sad? I'll like make jokes to myself and I'm like,
we don't even look at I mean,
you're like, we're on two completely different stages.
Yeah, basically.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But I mean, musically we riff off each other. I mean, no, it's very chill vibe on stage. A lot of times we never even make a set list. We'll just kind of call them.
Oh, wow.
Our drummer's very animated.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I feel like I love sometimes looking over at the drummer, like no matter what I'm watching, because if they're having a blast, that like I feel like changes the whole fucking vibe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like, have you, you know what? I can't think of his name, and I know his dad is a super famous guy too, but I don't know if you've ever seen Paul McCartney live.
I
wish. Oh yeah, he's great. You should go. Whenever he goes back to touring, he's I've seen him I don't know how many times live. He's amazing. But his drummer is just the best dude, and he's this I think I want to say he's from Hawaii, but I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, God, I wish I could remember his name. But anyway, he's just like, as soon as they catch him on the big screen, he's having the best fucking time of his life. Yeah. Like he is, I mean, of course you're playing for McCartney, but you know what I mean? But he's just like loving the music, the whole vibe, big smile and goofing around and having a blast. And it was just it's always cool to like when they blow him up on the screen or whatever. I'm like, yes.
You're talking about Abe Laboriel Jr.?
That's it.
There you go, buddy.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I got you.
This is why I don't know if Tom's AI or not, because he just comes out.
He was like,
done. I was like, I wish I had a thing that could tell me instantly who this guy is.
I'm engaged, sir. I'm just, I can't, because imagine if I was just like, guys, give me a quick minute here. Just gonna Google something.
It happens. I've actually done that with lyrics. Yes. We've been
no
on
way.
Stage. Oh, yes way. We've been on stage and I'm like, you know, we'll call a cover and I'm like, fuck. And I'll just go over to my phone and I'll like get it and I'll just set it on my keyboard and I'll act all like, you know, whatever I'm saying. It works.
No,
it's
that's
not
great.
Professional, but it works.
I completely understand. There's been like, I hadn't been back out doing stand-up in obviously like 2 or some years. And I've been doing like shows like here and there or whatever, but I just did my first hour like completely at this theater in Delaware, and I legit forgot like older, like I had new stuff and I had a good time, and like about a half an hour hit and I was like, okay. And I was just like,
a long time. I feel like that's a long time.
It is a long time. Yeah. When you're headlining a show. So it's just like, but it was one of those situations where I was like literally kind of like trying to remember the garbage I had written a year ago or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, fuck. I was like, I didn't think I'd be there. But it went fine. But it was one of those things where I was like, I really wish. I was like, can I pull out my phone? I was like, maybe.
You make it part of the sketch. The whole
Exactly. I'm like, hang on, guys. I got a call. Scroll.
Look at my notes.
I'm like, yeah, exactly. Is there any so when you guys started out doing music, you started out in separate bands and stuff. Was there like for each of you, was there somebody that you kind of emulated in the beginning when you started, or were you kind of like, because I know everybody has their own like
what were your influences?
Yeah.
100%. I think that's a better the emulating part, because I think everybody when they're younger, it's like you learn one artist to death and you're like, I am that artist. So for me, that
I will become her.
Like Vanessa Carlton was me. Like
I was wow, great.
No, I'm just kidding. But like,
oh, okay. I was like,
no, I wished
yeah.
that was her, but that was literally, I learned her. This is when you would go to the music store and pick up like
oh.
That
was Vanessa Carlton's ghost. I know that she's dead or anything, but
you're not me.
Yeah.
You're not me. Don't even try.
Shots fired.
Seriously. What happened? I know the moon fell. So I would get a book of her album, and then I would learn like front to back. Even if I didn't like the song, I would learn it.
You can sound like her voice too.
Yeah, if I tried, yeah. But it actually almost hurt me a little bit more than helped, because I had to come into my own. You know, you kind of like get stuck in this, and you're like, okay, I'm not her. There's already her. You have to become yourself, and it took a second. I feel like I didn't really even find my voice until maybe, I don't know, a little bit, not that long ago. I want to say like maybe like 9 years ago that I finally was like, I know my voice.
Nice.
It's tough, but yes, that Vanessa Carlton was for me.
Like when I first started playing guitar, I was like really into jazz, so like I went and majored in jazz guitar, and then didn't really listen to anything other than that until I was like, I really can't make much money playing jazz. I was seeing like all the other like the kids that would graduate that were really good players all of a sudden coming back and like majoring in like something totally different than music, and I'm like, wow, they can't get gigs, and so I started playing the indie pop stuff with Alyssa, and started listening to a ton of different guitar players. But yeah, definitely started off just doing jazz guitar.
That's awesome. How did the jazz did that help you though when you were like kind of like transitioning to indie pop stuff? Like, did you use any of the same kind of skills?
Yeah, I think when I was first doing it, like when we were first starting writing tunes, and I mean the first stuff we were writing was just awful. It was like, I think it hurt more than helped, because I'm like, let me see how many chords I can throw in here, and and like now we don't even write with like our instruments, because I think like when we sit down to write, like if I pick up a guitar, or if somebody's writing on a guitar or piano, it's just like your hands go to what and it's just like everything starts sounding the same. So like we try to write like on a walk or in a car or without an instrument, and then you write it and then you grab the instrument, because if you pick up, it's like if you see a guitar player, they pick up a guitar, they can't help but noodle and play, and they just keep playing the riffs they know and the chords they know, and you just keep falling back into those old patterns. So it's like if you kind of limit yourself by putting yourself in a box and taking that away, then when it comes time to bring it in, like you already have more written that you don't have to go back to the old stuff. So yeah,
I feel like I really want to be like on that walk behind you as you're coming up with a song, just so I could feel and see the process. Like I want to just be like a ghost, so I could see how it's going.
I wish it was that cool. It really isn't. I feel like it's like
Jeez, Matt, ruining.
I feel like nowadays, like
I love the honesty.
I know.
Like we were writing earlier today, and I feel like sometimes it's like, I don't know, bickering, and then you finally get like the idea that you want, and then it's like you kind of separate, like each person like goes for a walk or does their thing. And I don't know, I kind of think about it, and then the next day or a couple hours later you come back and sort it out.
He's like, kind of no, I want to see that still. I want to see the bickering.
Yeah. Honestly, the bickering does. I would enjoy that.
Yeah.
I like to see creative people who are also living together and dating kind of fight it out. I think that's the behind the scenes shit we're all dying to see.
Obviously.
Yeah. Is it hard separating your creative life? Like, are you always working? Because I know for creatives it is kind of weird because there's no real schedule. Exactly. Everybody has and can contact you no matter what time of fucking day it is. It's not you're like, oh, I'm clocked out now. It's like, no, they're on a different time and a different place. Is it hard when you're like, as close as you guys, obviously, like you're living together or whatever. I don't know how long you've been living together, but do you guys get to go, okay, hey, it's break time. We're not fucking doing this shit right now. Or are you always thinking, always writing, always creating?
It's all, we have to kind of force ourselves sometimes to be like, hey, let's like not look at our phones, and because it's gotten worse with like social media, there's always like another thing you have to keep up with. So I mean, you know, and yeah, you're right. It's horrible. You're getting a call from manager, or you're getting, you know, emails from your label, or you have to write somebody back on Instagram or whatever. Yeah, there's always something. And then plus the creative, it's like, okay, yeah, you got all the business stuff done, but you got to actually write music too and do all those things, and you know, order merch, you know. Exactly. So long story long, it is hard to separate, but we try. We've been watching a lot of Halloween movies lately, which is great.
Yes. Oh, what's your favorite? Do you have any good horror movies?
Oh, she just saw Rosemary's Baby for the first time.
For the first time.
First time? Holy shit.
I know. I freaking loved it. I can't. Yeah. That's a top one for me. His like one of his favorites, It, and he got me into It. I love it. Yes.
The original or the new one?
Oh, well, like I like the book, and so then like grew up on the '90s miniseries one, which I think is
me too.
Yeah, I love that one.
That one scared the absolute shit out of me.
Yeah, we just watched Midnight Mass on Netflix and love that.
I haven't seen that yet. Is it good?
Yeah,
it's wild, man.
Yeah, I like it. I think it was really good.
It's pretty nuts. It's pretty like, whew, that's a doozy.
It feels very Stephen King, but it's not.
It does.
It's the same guy that did like Dr. Sleep, so I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, nice. Oh, I did see Dr. Sleep. I enjoyed that more than I thought I was going to.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because I went in with like no expectation really. When I actually wound up seeing the whole thing, I was like, "Fuck yeah, this is fucking awesome."
Yeah.
How
about you guys? Halloween movies? Do you have faves?
Gotta go Hocus Pocus.
How cute.
Right, but that is like I mean, I know it's not. I'll get with a horror movie in a second, but I feel like that is like me and my friends have that. And the other day we were talking about it too, where I was like, is it pure nostalgia for us, or does it actually hold up? And I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Your face like, no, I don't think so.
I mean, one of my favorite shows ever is Sabrina the Teenage Witch with Melissa Joan Hart. It's like, I think it's one of the best shows ever, but I'm like, is it actually good? No, it's actually shit. But I love it because it makes me feel so cozy, and it's like, it's the best show. So yes, I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah, I watched the new one too, which I thought was I've never said out loud before, but here we are. Shout out to Kieran and Shipka. But yeah, it was great. I thought it was cool too. I love that kind of stuff. And I think one of my favorite, I mean, I've got a bunch of horror movies that are like, that I love, that are like super, super scary. But one of them, I feel like not everybody agrees with me. I love the Mothman Prophecies. Have you ever seen that?
Is that with Richard Gere?
Richard Gere.
Yeah. It's been a while, but yeah, that was good. I haven't seen it.
No, you gotta see it.
Put it on the list.
Thank you. That's why I love it. It's not a lot of jump scare shit, but it is psychologically like will fuck you up. Like it's creepy as shit.
I'm watching that.
Yeah, those are the type of ones, the ones without the jump scares that like I like.
Me too. Yeah, because I don't mind being scared. Like, you know, a jump scare is great. It's a lot of fun. You know, especially when you're watching it with somebody else or whatever. But those ones that like get in your head and like make you feel like isolated and alone and all of the shit. That's what I like to fucking see.
Yeah. Like I think too, like any horror that's in daylight too gets me, because it's just like, you know what I mean? Like even It Follows, like seeing those images in the daylight, it's just like, it's not like dark of night with fog. You know what I mean? It's just creepy to see like a weird image of somebody, you know, in the daylight.
Yeah, I used to when you're a kid, I think like I used to rationalize like scary shit where I would be like, okay, no one ever gets murdered listening to happy music or watching, you know, a cartoon, right? And then all of a sudden they started implementing those in regular movies, like horror movies, and I was like, fuck, it's happening in daylight. Yeah. I was like, there that goes. Fuck that shit. Yeah, I love the supernatural stuff. I love all that kind of stuff. I just watched one on Netflix, and I cannot think of the name right now, but it's like an old yeah, exactly, Tom. It's
I might be able to do this right here.
Yeah, it's a foreign film, so it's in you know, it's got subtitles or whatever, but it's based on like I think an old German folklore, and it's about this dude who makes a deal with the devil during the war to survive. Like he's on a firing line, like he gets captured by the other side and he's about to be executed, so he makes a deal with the devil and he winds up killing everybody that's captured him just so he can go back and see his wife. He goes back to see his wife and he finds out that she's like, because she thought he was already dead, because it's like, you know, one of the first wars or whatever, that she fucked some other dude and had his baby. So he murders the dude, accidentally kills her, and then takes the baby and drops it off at an orphanage. So, kid grows up, blah, blah, blah. And this guy becomes this creepy old man that lives. And I'm just going to do the whole movie now. Don't
bother watching it.
Yeah. I'm like, can we get some subtitles going? I'm going to start to speak German. I can't. But anyway, yeah. So it like becomes really like that's kind of like in the beginning how it starts off. And then it gets like just gets way more fucked through that whole thing because you don't know what this guy's deal is and why he's not. Like, he was basically supposed to give his soul to the devil, but he winds up, like, fighting the devil every time. It's fucking weird.
Oh, man. That just sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it's actually really good. I thought it was going to be... Because my friends and I like to watch garbage films, too. And, like, just kind of rip them apart or, think about... But, like, this, we thought it was going to be garbage. And then it wound up being really fucking good.
Wow. Surprise.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I like how we're just reviewing movies. This is a movie review show now.
This is, we don't need music. We're good.
Wonder Woman 1984, garbage. Fast 9, amazing.
Fast 9.
I
feel like I said, Tom, did you have a favorite? I don't want to. Did you have a favorite horror?
That's a good question. Like, I don't know if you mean commercial or like, I have a friend that he did All Hallows Eve, so I'm like, it reminded me of it. So it's Art the Clown. So super
Clowns
interesting.
Are so scary.
Have you ever seen it? Have you ever seen All Hallows Eve? It's pretty intense.
He's
ranked as one of the scariest clowns. Like, top 12 horror figures, Art the Clown gets ranked. He's like this black and white clown. He's pretty intense. And there's two of them. So I have a friend that played the original Art, and then there's an actor that plays the new Art, and they have their own nuances. So they have a different feel of scary to each of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds terrifying.
Is that the one where they split somebody literally in two?
Yeah, he cuts the woman in half.
Yes.
Down the middle. Yes.
I saw that one with a bunch of friends. That was horrifying.
Yeah, it's pretty. Some of it's pretty gruesome.
Yeah.
So like the first one's called All Hallows Eve, which has like this huge cult following, and then the new ones are called Terrifier.
Yeah, I haven't seen the newer ones, but I did see All Hallows Eve, and that was fucking wild. Yeah. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, if you haven't seen it, by the way, is hilarious.
I have seen that actually, which is crazy.
You have?
Yes.
I was expecting that response, but okay. I have seen that actually.
She's like, I think they're full of shit.
Do you ever I got caught the other day because somebody was like, "You ever hear that song by blah, 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 blah?" And I was like, "Yeah," and I never fucking heard it. And Matt we got in the car, and Matt was like, "I'll give you $10 if you can sing that song right now." I don't know what it was. We were just trying to relate to them, and
or you just kind of are half listening to the answer, like
either one.
Yeah.
Do you know this song? Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
I like that you at least had enough respect to ask her when she got back to the car, because I've been with friends who know me well enough, and they'll be dumb enough to fucking say it. They're like, "No, you haven't," and I'm like, "Shut up."
Yeah.
Like, do you want this conversation to go longer? We're trying to get out of here.
We're actually trying to leave. We actually were trying to leave. No shit. But yeah, he called me out pretty good on the car.
That's yeah, right. Like you get to wrap shit up. You're like, yeah, no, totally. I've been there. Yeah, I've been to Nepal several times. Why? Do you want to wrap it up? Or
you need a stripper?
Oh my god. That's fucking. I don't even know how we got on the horror movie thing, but I
loved it, and now I'm gonna watch All Hallows Eve and the Clown Out of Space thing.
You're gonna love Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It's such a ridiculously bullshit, goofy. Like it's a good. It's kind of frightening in some places, but
movie-esque. Yes.
Yeah, it's a B movie. Yeah, exactly, or D movie, not even a B movie. I can't even like.
It's like a D movie.
Yeah. It's, however far down the alphabet you can go. That is fucking it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Please. I would have you if you also you have to see Velocipaster. We had the director and one of the actors on. I don't know if you've seen Velocipaster. It's not a horror movie.
No.
Okay, it's on Amazon Prime. See Velocipaster. Swear to fucking God, it'll change your life, or not, but or you'll still be the same people after you watch it. Either one. Yeah, it's probably both. It's probably beneficial that you stay the same, but you could totally check it out. But it's another one of those movies that's like it knows it's totally tongue in cheek. It knows it's supposed to be what it is. So it's about a priest that gets bitten by a dinosaur and then it turns into dinosaur at night.
Oh, beautiful.
Sounds really good. And he befriends this hooker,
and they kind of fight ninjas and shit. I'm not making.
But it gets even better because they didn't have enough of a budget to do all the special effects. So
perfect.
That's what makes it so epic.
Yeah.
So like there's a car fire and it says like insert car fire here because they didn't have the money to put the car fire on the screen. Amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's like 5 minutes into the film, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be fucking awesome."
We're watching this in full.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, nobody leaves. Lock the doors. I'm the only one in the house. That's funny. Just me and my cat. So, what is your first stop when you guys go back on tour? Where are you going first? You know,
New York City.
Oh, great!
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
I think
are you coming to?
Area.
Jersey at all?
New York, Boston, DC.
No Jersey.
No Jersey. I'll come to New York, obviously, but I mean, I feel like Jersey's overlooked, and it's fine. It just hurts a little bit.
Aww. I'm sorry. Where
no.
Are you?
I'm in LBI. South. It's all the way south. It's like closer to Atlantic City.
But he may have a connect for Asbury Park, which is very music trendy.
I actually do have a connection for Asbury Park if you guys want to play it there.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah. You just have to put up with the Springsteen may show up rumors that they do every time somebody plays. There's always one drunk in the audience like, Springsteen's supposed to come. And it's like, no, he's not.
He's not coming.
I don't know where you are. We're at a Texaco station. Relax. He's not going to show up. But he might. Sushi's pretty good here.
Is that really what people think?
Yeah. They just had the See Here Now festival in Asbury that I think this is like the third year or whatever. It's been great. But you know, Eddie Vedder was there, Smashing Pumpkins, I don't know, a few other like huge bands or whatever, and still like at the end of every other article about the event was like, we know tomorrow's the last day, but we're pretty sure Springsteen's gonna show up, and you're like, just fucking let it go. Jesus.
Leave it alone.
How many times does this guy have to resurrect this dying town? Like he's Jesus Christ, let him go. Yeah.
Do you know what's funny? He is around a decent amount in the area, though. But when you see him, you don't recognize Bruce Springsteen because he's an older version of Bruce Springsteen now.
So like, looking for
Looking for that.
Yeah, you're not looking for him.
It's like one of the first bands that we played in together. We did a couple of dates. I think it was like the weirdest pairing, but we were opening for Tim Reynolds. I don't know if you guys know Tim Reynolds, who is the guitar player for Dave Matthews Band.
Yeah.
When he's not on tour with Dave Matthews, he has his own trio, which is totally different than Dave Matthews. It's just like this really psychedelic guitar. They have costumes on stage, and it's like, you know what I mean, like totally different than like Dave Matthews acoustic music. You know,
yeah.
And so like it's just it's him, a bass player and drummer, and then like every show, like we were talking to the band, and they're like every show, everyone in the crowds, either they come expecting to hear Dave Matthews type music, but they're always like, is Dave coming tonight? So they got to the point where like, yeah, he's here somewhere. So people are looking around the club to see where Dave is.
Oh my God, that's like, genius.
Yeah, because every night it's like, is Dave coming? Is he going to sit it? And like every night, and then you just start like telling people he's there, and they keep looking.
That is fucking genius. Yeah, it is kind of weird when they get older and you're always looking for like this, because I feel like he was all like, you know, shot leather jackets in the beginning, and now he's just in denim. He's more relaxed, which I get. Like that makes total sense, but I'm not, you know. But nobody's looking for that. They're looking for old school.
100%.
Yeah, I'm gonna be buried in my leather jacket. I die next week. Wouldn't that be weird? That'd be fucking weird. It got weird. We'll cut that. I don't know why I just said sorry. Horror movie.
Horror movies. The fucking moon fell. There's just so many.
We froze.
That's like an omen. Yeah, the moon falling. Somebody Google that. Oh my God.
On it.
Yeah, Tom's like, hang on. Let me see. Are you guys Sagittariuses? Yeah, that's fucking crazy. That's awesome. So you got a good tour coming up. You got the new album release coming out. And what's like your plan for basically like, are you working on another album already? Like, how's that going? Like, are you like, fuck it, taking up? You are. I knew it. I could tell. That's awesome. How's that going?
It's going. It's just
give me the bickering.
Yeah.
Let's work it out now.
We actually just talked with our A&R over at our label today, and just kind of, we always have this like call with her after the cycle ends and we're, the EP's coming out next week. So it's kind of that regrouping and like, hey, what do you want your next EP to be like? And what do you need from us? And so it was kind of just like the beginning stages of it, but we've been writing, for a while now, just because there's really not a whole hell of a lot else to do. So, I mean, yeah, so we've been writing and we're ready, and it's fun. It's exciting to, I don't know, just keep sharing music with people. Yeah.
Yeah.
We love it.
That's fucking awesome.
Nice. Have you contemplated making an album strictly of things that people do in every TV show and be like, breaking up with girlfriend? That's the title of the track.
Oh my God. That would be good. So funny. That's brilliant.
That is great.
Really brilliant.
That would be a really great, like, tongue-in-cheek way to be like, screw you, industry. Here's your shit.
This whole album is on TV this week.
You do like sections. So you have like the one EP, it's like 6 songs in that. It's like part 1, and it's like coming of age. And then part 2 could be like, I don't know, getting engaged and getting married and like the love stages, and then getting old,
the breakup,
like crisis. Like, yeah, you could literally do chapters. It's great. Yeah. That's a great idea. Thank you for that.
It's all in the titles, you're right? Like our last EP, we had a song that we thought was great for sync, and it was called Alice. And then the sync guys, which he had a good point. He's like, people hate, like, music supervisors barely touch songs that are the name of a person because there's, I don't know,
well, it's such
if they can't mentally connect with it or whatever. So we changed that song to Looking Glass, and it got a sync. So it's just like, it's weird how the title really makes a difference. Yeah. But yeah, I like that idea. Let's just have all these perfect syncable titles.
Be beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Describing the scene.
That's gonna be their next EP. I can't wait now. That's gonna be so
it's gonna be so creatively freeing.
It'll be a song called End Credits.
And just name the album Synced Up. That's it.
Oh shit. And make sure they're all NFTs so you guys make bank.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for all the business advice. I appreciate it.
This is what we're here for. We make dreams happen for everybody but ourselves. What? I got to ask you guys 2 questions. You can answer them. I feel like since there's 2 of you, I don't know if you guys want to answer them together or individually. It's up to you guys. But we ask every guest these questions. So the first one is, if you can go back in time, talk to your younger self, and give yourself a piece of advice that'll help you out today, what would it be?
I'm between 2 things, but you want to go first?
Mine sounds so cliche, but like I really do connect with it, where it's like, just keep doing like what you love, because like early on we were like people would, like, we were talking to like industry people, and each person would hear her voice and be like, you should sing country, you should, and then they would be like pretty well known, or you should sing pop, or you should sing, and they would like be pretty connected in that scene. And of course you're like, oh, this person's at this record label and a big deal, so I mean, not to sound like you're selling out, but you're like, I just want to do this for a living. You want to have success, you want to reach, so it's like we would cater to who was interested in there. And then it's just such a shit show regardless, that like all that stuff does fall through, and it's just like, you're the one that stuck with the music. So it did take us a while to figure out, just do music. I mean, it sounds so corny, but do something authentic that you love, because you're the ones that have to play it on stage. And people like managers, labels, agents come and go. Like, we've gone through a good amount of different teams, and it's just like, we've had the best result when we just, do the type of music that we would listen to and that we like, and instead of trying to be like, all right, this is what this person wants at this label. If we do it, we'll work with them. So, I mean, I feel like we wasted too much time trying to appease other people.
Yeah.
Doing that.
Yeah.
Don't conform, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Do what you love.
Yeah. And mine's kind of goes hand in hand. Like, just the worst people can say is no. So be bolder. And what my mom has always said, both my parents have always said, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
That's true. That's good. That's solid, though.
I wish I had listened to that more. But no, truly.
One more too. It's like,
we have 4 things.
I know.
This is great.
Okay.
We have a lot of advice for you.
Yeah. Keep going.
For our younger self. Like, it's just, I feel like when, like, it took us a while to figure out that like finishing things is like a good skill to learn, because like you start stuff and then you don't, you know what I mean? Like once you finish it, and don't be afraid to throw it out and be like, all right, like don't be so attached. Like we need to make this song work. It's okay to like finish it, and then you get, because if you don't like finish every song you start, for us, it's just like you get in this habit of like you have like 20 songs that you started but you don't finish, and then you don't get in the custom of like finishing stuff, and then sometimes you just get so attached, like this is the song, I will never write anything better, and nobody, and it's just like
it's never true.
It's okay to like finish it and be like, all right, that was a process, but that's going in the garbage and start again. I feel like it took us a while to like figure that out too. Like it's okay to toss something away.
That's great. I totally know what you mean, man. And so the next question is, what had to end in your lives for you to get where you are now? Either creatively or, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be bad. It could be a good thing that ended. Either one.
Yeah, no, that's a great question.
This is very literal, but like one of the first bands we played in, like regionally, like it would do like one of the bands we played in was very successful regionally, but like we would sell, you know, we'd sell at all the venues in Rochester, and you get this like false sense of like, you know, we're doing big things, but like we can never do anything outside of like Rochester. And it was like we kind of had to make that move, like, all right, let's leave these other members, let's leave that band name that like, you know, we could play a show to like 1,000 people in Rochester and be like, you know, we're the best because people are cheering, but then like nothing else was happening. And it was like kind of like we have to end that, start from scratch with something new that we think we can take further than Rochester. And it was kind of scary at first to be like, we're done with this, you know what I mean? And kind of get rid of that. So I remember that had to end, and it was like kind of weird to say goodbye to something that it seemed like on the surface it was working, but underneath really wasn't.
Right. Yeah. That's a good point.
That's really interesting, because you feel that level of success, but it's like a micro dose of it because it's only in this very specific location.
Yeah, and, like, and you don't, and it's friends and family telling you how, you know, great you are, but it's like you really, you know what I mean? You know, that, you know what I mean? Like, man, we actually do suck. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, it becomes intoxicating and also flattering at the same time too, because it's just that big fish, small pond syndrome where you're like, I'm really safe here.
Yeah,
and then you know.
Yeah, both of us like played in cover bands before, and that is like a weird thing because you're playing other people's music, so they're at bars and they're cheering and they're like acting like you are Springsteen. If you're playing like a Springsteen song, they're connecting with when they heard the Springsteen song.
Yes.
And you at that point in time, you feel like a rock star because you're playing a song that everybody knows the lyrics. And when you play one of your originals, nobody knows the lyrics, so it's like that's a lot different and soul crushing. But it's like it masks like, you know, you think you're bigger than you are, but it's like that's not your music. That you didn't write that song, and it's just like learning to like use a cover to mix in with originals, but like being in a cover band is like we kind of stop that and be like,
And to be able to do that too, it's like you have to kind of wrap your head around the idea that you might fail when you leave a place, but you'll be failing with experience as opposed to when you started and you were failing with nothing to fall back on.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
100%.
So it's definitely hard. What about you, Alyssa?
Well, mine wasn't really by choice, but I tried out for American Idol when I was younger, and I got to Hollywood, and then I got out of Hollywood, and Rochester made a big deal out of it, and I met Matt. So that kind of that ended. So
nice.
Again in the band. So it wasn't my choice though. I didn't like purposely be like, no, actually, I don't want to be on American Idol anymore. Bye. But it's okay. Like it still was an ending to a beginning. So mine was a little bit.
That's great. What was that American Idol experience like for you? Was it like exciting and just kind of a rush, or was it?
Yeah, I mean, of course it was. I mean, I was 16. It was so fun, and but at the same time, it really wasn't what you see on TV. And as a 16-year-old, I wouldn't really recommend it to any 16-year-old because it really, when I got eliminated, rejection is very hard at 16, and it was tough. I had a really hard year, and at school it was like you're just very in front, and you had all this like huge deal and big success. And then it's like you get eliminated, and it's like, that's embarrassing. Even though it's not. It's, you think of it as embarrassing. So
you can't process it then.
Yeah, it's a lot. So while it was a really great experience, I would never do one of those shows again. But but like I said, it really was a great experience, and I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't.
It's almost kind of freeing when you realize that those shows are not rigged, but you know what I mean? Like it's just part of a process to a certain extent. Because there's a bunch of comedy shit like that too, where you're like, as soon as you realize how orchestrated they are, and just, you know, shit doesn't even happen. Like, there's so many comics I know that went on that Last Comic Standing show who were, you know, supposed to get development deals from NBC and like technically won one. It never went anywhere. They maybe got like $10K to like fuck off, you know. You know,
so yeah.
And then you're like, oh, okay, like I don't really want to be like, you know, like it's just a different perspective where you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go do it. I'll get my face plastered on a TV screen, and then, you know, you get it for the credit forever.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just so fucking weird. Well, I don't want to keep you guys any longer. I got you for an hour, so thank you so much for coming on. I love the new album. You guys are fucking awesome. It was lovely to meet you both.
Same to you guys. Thank you. This was really fun. This was really fun. I wish we could do this all the time.
we can. Go, guess what? I suddenly bring in your manager into frame. Like, hey, what we're gonna do is, but thank you again so much, and let's do this again whenever you guys have the new PE or you want to come back on anytime for touring and stuff, and we'll come see you in New York.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait to see you guys live. I think it's gonna be amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. It was really, really, really nice talking to you guys, and thanks for the movie recs and everything.
Yeah, let me know when you see them.
Yeah, we'll bring you back to like a quick 10-minute review, both of you, so we can get both of your opinions on everything.
No, for sure. We will give you our reviews. Don't worry.
Beautiful.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it so much.
Take care, guys.
Thanks so much.
You too.
Bye.
Dystopia Tonight.